Telling you. Toys R Us, anyone? 2001. Who wants to buy this Game Boy Advance? No. Yeah, it is. And then this one. PlayStation. This is June 2001. Remember these? PlayStation. Telling you. You know what? Here's Best Buy from December 2002. I think this is officially when they actually started doing the flat panel TVs. And this is when it was super expensive back then. This is when they officially started doing that. The flat panel TVs. Because this is the ad where I found that TV for $11,000, you know, for a 50-inch. Here's a PlayStation 2. And then more like PlayStation 2 games. And then we had the Xbox, which was the competitor. Because the Xbox came out in 2001 now, if I remember. This is December 2002. So yeah, this is what we had back then. GameCube. And then Game Boy. So yeah, this is 2002. And then the latest CDs in 2002. December. And this is the music back then. And then, okay, so the latest DVDs, it looks like it. Well, that was 2002. Well, I don't think at this point, I think they weren't selling VHSs anymore. I mean, well, this guy was like the big star of the year. I mean, yeah, I guess it's this guy. I mean, this movie, I guess. It was like the big star of that moment. Yeah. So, yeah. More DVDs of the latest ones then. Okay, here's more things. Okay, right here. I think this is when they started doing the DVD recorder. It was one of the first times to do that, because that's when I bought a DVD recorder in 2003 so I could start transferring my VHSs onto a DVD, which I did, and I still have that collection of DVDs, but they're useless now. And then DVD player, and then VCR. Start at $50. Okay, now these are the TVs, but these were not the flat panel TVs. I mean, they were still selling a bunch of these non-flat panel TVs, but it was like the start of selling flat panel TVs, but they didn't really completely phase out of the non-flat panel TVs until probably middle 2000s, you know. And this is where the flat panel TVs started making a boom in the market, or that's when they started blooming. But look at the price of this one, man. God dang. Look how much this one was, and it was a plasma, and it was a 42-inch. They're asking $5,000, man. $5,000 for that TV. And then this one, look at this one, man. $11,000, man. Look at that price. That was $2002 too. I mean, and it was only a 1080i. It was not even a 1080p. God dang, man, what a fucking price, man. Damn, man, what a freaking price. And then this TV, a 13-inch TV for $800, man. Damn. And $1,300 for a 17-inch, man. God dang. Why would we want to pay $1,300 to plug this into a computer, man? And then going on to the just a regular 20-inch TV. I mean, god dang, man. $1,800, man. And but for a lot of us who just didn't have that kind of money, I mean, you could buy a car with that money back then. Totally, you were able to buy a car with that money, man. You were able to buy a pretty nice used car with that money. So for those of us who just didn't have that kind of money, we had these $130 for. But now in today's times, you could buy a 32-inch flat panel TV for this price now in today's times. And it's going to be 4K too, or it's going to be at least a 1080p for that price in today's times. And for this price, you could buy something pretty nice like a Samsung 4K, a 50-inch TV for that price in today's times. Lilo and Stitch. And then this. I'm telling you. And then there's the stereo systems. I'm telling you. So yeah. And then more portable CD players. I don't think they were MP3s yet. Well, they didn't start doing those for a little while. Well, it looks like these are MP3 play or mini disc. They had these are the mini. I remember the mini discs. Oh, they had MP3 back then. And then keyboards. Huh. Theater systems. And then the multi-disc changers. Telling you. And then more theater systems. Then stereo systems for a car. And it looks like they started doing I don't know what it is. Sirius. They actually started doing that. I mean, well, satellite radio. I mean, they were still doing cassette players back then. I don't even know when did they actually start phasing out of the cassette players. So, yeah. I'm not... Well, I guess these are MP3 players. No, voice recorders. Free DVD players for a car. I remember that. And then the non-cellular phones. Landline phones. Wow, these are the cellular phones. You know, the phones were not crazy priced, but believe it or not, back then. Well, yeah, if I would remember, you know, cell phones were not crazy expensive like the way they are right now. I mean, like, the typical phones that we have today, like an Apple iPhone, like iPhone 13, 14, or 15, or whatever we have right now, the 15 is the latest iPhone in this, as of this video. Like something like that will be about $1,000 for the cheaper one. These phones, if I can remember, they did not cost that much money. I mean, if I remember, like maybe $200 or $300, you were able to buy a phone for like $300. But most of us always got them for free when we did a contract, you know. So phones were never an issue to buy. Now this is like the one that I had. I think that I had this phone back then, you know. But of course, you know, I was able to do something better. But I was pretty happy with whatever, the basic stuff. I didn't care about the technology and like the latest stuff. I was kind of like outgrown out of that back then. Singular, remember Singular? I don't even know what this is. What the heck is that? So, walkie-talkies, it looks like it. Two-way radios. I don't know if these are two-way radios or... Huh. Okay, here's a rock camera. These are, I think this is a mini TV that I know of. Yeah, I remember the mini TVs. Is that a mini TV or is that a... Hey, well, yeah, I guess it's a mini TV. And then, and here's a computer. The prices of it was still pretty high, but the prices of the computer was not all that bad. But this is before my very first computer, before the first one that I ever got. And then camcorders, 8mm digital 8. I remember the digital 8 camcorders. Those failed. I mean, I'm talking about the format. The format failed. Sony has always been known to fail on some new formats that they used to come up with. Like the mini disc is one of those things. And the beta failed. Sony was always known to come up with these crazy formats and then they fail. Well, I remember this too. I remember it was a micro MV. I remember that micro MV format. They were like extra small cassette. Well, obviously they failed. Obviously that format failed. Mini TVs. I didn't do my first mini TV camcorder until 2005. And this is 2002. So more of my camcorders. And then digital cameras. Well, a nice one would have had like 3.2 megapixel. While like the cheaper ones would have had like probably about 1.5. I think 3.2 or 3. Something like in the 3 megapixel range was the typical ones that they had back then, like a typical average camera. Well, here's one 4 megapixel, but it was $500 for this one. Yeah, like the good ones, of course, were and they only had 4 megapixel in those days. But the typical ones had 3 megapixel. But today's phones, they're like about 20 megapixels right now. Like even the cheapest phone is going to have 15 megapixels or something. Even my $75 Samsung A14 had a 15 megapixel camera or something like that. Yeah. CDs, label makers, printers, more cameras. Oh, 35 millimeters. So they were actually still doing the old school stuff back then. Because not everybody had the money for it. Or people didn't want to do the new technology stuff, Or people weren't ready to jump into the new stuff, Computers. Here's one for you. $5.99. And then, you had, well, if you remember, we used to have to do these the mail-in rebates and stuff. 128 megabyte RAM, 40 gigabyte hard drive, and then the regular monitor. It was not a flat panel. And then here's another one. Well, all of these were like mail-in Shit, these look like a good deal right here. I mean, this would have been a much better computer than my brother had back in 1995. So this one was 128. This was a far better computer than what my brother had that he paid $3,000 for. Yeah. Pentium 1.9 gigahertz. Remember this? 60 gigabyte hard drive, and then there's a more upgraded computer for $979. And here's more of them. This one was a this is a good one apparently, HP. And then this one right here had 500 side bus, DVD-RW drive or recorder. Well, the expensive ones I was gonna have that. I mean, CD-ROM drive, 80 gigabyte hard drive, and well, this was a good one, but look at the price though, $1,400. I mean, and then this is a little bit cheaper. This one offered a little bit the same thing. Let's see, 80 gigabyte. Well, man, these were pretty good ones, but they was expensive too. I mean, very expensive in those days. Okay, more the laptop. This one, I mean, look at this one. And then this computer, the specifications, LCD, well, it comes like, let me see. Well, I don't know if this was a, 250 meg, well, supposedly it was a pretty good one, but that one was $1,500 though, man. And then the monitors, and then I guess they started doing the flat panels, but they were pretty expensive. Well, I guess a flat panel TV was expensive. I guess a lot more, well, naturally. I mean, a flat panel TV was naturally more expensive than a monitor. I mean, naturally. It was a 17-inch flat panel for $400. And then here's another one. This one had 20 gigabyte hard drive. And here's an expensive computer, but what did it offer? What did this thing offer back then? Well, it was kind of equal to an average desktop that you could buy for like about $500-600. Well, a laptop, if you were gonna cram power into a laptop, it was like twice as much money. I mean, so yeah. And then this laptop, well, yeah, if you wanted something significant, you had to look forward to paying a pretty penny there, Well, I'm not sure what this is. It's wireless things. And then these little thingies. Well, it's planners, I guess. And then more, it's like, I remember these kind of things that they used to do. Yeah, what is this? PDA, I remember PDAs, yeah. And PDA, I remember those. That's cute. I remember I always heard that term, PDAs. And what does that mean again? What was the name of that? What did that stand for? Here's another PDA. Oh, I had a camera. How funny. Kind of like the idea of a cell phone. And then the computer speakers. Heck is this, huh? Oh, joysticks or keyboards, and so yeah. Oh, here's an Apple right here. 20 gigabyte iPod for Windows PC, stores up to 4,000. As an Apple iPod, I think it's like one of the first iPods that ever came out, man. Huh? It's one of the first ones that ever came out for a Apple iPod. That's like some of the first times ever. Okay, I guess memory. CRWs. And then I think this was hard drive. If you wanted to upgrade the hard drive, I think 80 gigabyte for $130. This one was a 60 gigabyte for $80 or something like that. And this was a 220 gigabyte. I'm not sure. And then of course you got your appliances and refrigerators. I think that's all for the, okay, this is the computer desks and stuff like that. And then microwave over the head. And then over here, vacuums, coffee makers, toasters. So there's all the writing on this. So yeah. See that? And down here's more stuff here. I think that's not a PDA. And then a mini DV. And here's another computer for $689. E-machines. This one had well, this was like the typical stuff that they had, you know, for a desktop. But if you wanted this in a laptop, it would have been probably double that. Well, that was the ad for you. So I hope you liked this video, including this ad for the video games, 2001. All right, I'll see you on the next video.